Y'all want something to drink? What, Coke? Come on, my man. Just hanging out, you know, now with my son and everything is, all my free time is kind of taken up by him, which I don't mind. You know, it's a lot of fun, and just can't wait till he gets old enough to play ball on his own.
A magician with the basketball. He can do anything he wants with the basketball. He's got all the moves that a point guard needs. Crazy. I just want to go out and have fun and make the game fun, and that's why I love to play it.
Jason Chandler Williams, born November 18th, 1975. J Sizzle, J Dub, J Will, White Chocolate. No matter what you call him, just know that we couldn't continue this 90s series without including this guy. When he finally burst onto the scene, he was clearly the most exciting, strange, different, and could have been the most transcendent player of his era for how he mixed street ball skills with NBA basketball. I've never seen anything quite like him, and I don't think we'll ever see a player like him again. The things that made Williams great were the very same things that shortened his career and made him have to tailor his game to prevent ostracizing himself from his beloved passion. Williams has and will always be the most entertaining player I've watched, and also one of the most self-destructive. He managed to turn that around and become an NBA champion, great family man, and sometimes forgotten gem. Let's look at the 3 reasons I think Williams' career didn't meet expectations and his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Stunt number 1, enough time. Something Jason Williams didn't have throughout his career, beginning with the amount of experience he had as an amateur. Williams is from Bell, West Virginia, and played high school basketball for DuPont High School in Bell with Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss. He led his team to the state championship game in '94 and was subsequently named the West Virginia Player of the Year. Williams committed to Providence, but after Coach Rick Barnes left for Clemson, he decided to take an offer from Marshall and Coach Billy Donovan. He would spend the next 4 years in college, only playing in 2 of those years as the starting point guard. In '94-95, he redshirted due to eligibility issues and officially began his career in the '95-96 season. In his lone season playing at Marshall, he averaged 13.4 points, 6.4 assists, and shot 38% from 3. His team failed to make the NCAA tournament that season. Coach Donovan would accept a job from the Florida Gators that offseason, and Williams decided to follow his coach to the new program. This would mean he'd have to sit out another season before he could take the floor, marking the second full season he'd miss and the experience it would have given him at the point. I say this was a stunt in his career because in those missed years, he lost the chance to really hone in on his fundamentals on the floor and his maturity as a Division I basketball player off the floor. With time, he may have been able to learn how to cut down on the turnovers and develop a mentality that values the basketball and possessions gained and lost throughout the game. After 4 years, he was still a raw prospect that, while exciting, became turnover prone, erratic, and a liability on the floor in big game situations, leading to his benching. The years sat out also allowed Williams to develop bad habits off the floor that ultimately cost him his college future and almost pro future as well. Stunt number 2, addiction. Williams is another player down the line of basketball players that's either lost a significant amount or all of their prime basketball years due to addiction to drugs. In Williams' case, marijuana was his drug of choice, or much rather, the drug that chose him to sink its fangs in and hold prisoner for much of his exciting career. After sitting out due to transfer rules, Jason stepped on the floor in Gainesville and was amazing. He was breaking assist records, upsetting Kentucky, and averaged 17.1 points a game, 6.7 assists, and 40% from 3. Williams was a clear-cut star that year, and a lot was expected of him closing the season. In February 1998, those expectations came to an end when Williams was suspended from the team for failing to adhere to NCAA and Florida Gators drug policy. This was the 3rd suspension for the same infraction. It was the last straw for him, and he was forced to move on from college basketball with 2 years of eligibility on the table. All wouldn't be lost for Jason though. He was taken with the 7th overall pick by the Sacramento Kings in '98 and joined newcomers Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, and Peja Stojakovic. Here is where most people are familiar with Williams for the excitement he brought to the game in a time when street basketball was beginning to peak in a package most of us haven't seen before coming from a white player. Williams had the swag, the skills, and the respect of past bodies. But as we'll see, this wouldn't last very long because of his ongoing struggles with weed. In his rookie season, his number 55 jersey was a top 5 seller in the NBA and was a breath of new fresh air in the league where hot dogging wasn't a consistent thing. Jason's entire game was the best hot dogging ever, all while secretly self-destructing off the floor. In the summer of 2000, he was suspended for violation of the league treatment and anti-drug program. His use of weed almost cost him his career and definitely stunted his growth as this new, flashy excitement that bounced on the scene. Stunt number 3, flash, no shutter. Williams' third stunt can be attributed to multiple injuries suffered over his career, his turnover-prone attributes, or his erratic decision-making, which couldn't lead to a championship as the starter until he finally tuned it down. But I think another huge aspect of Jason Williams not living up to expectations came because while he was flashy and exciting, his production never seemed to make real noise in the league. He was known for and highly capable of pulling off the flashiest passes and his famous pull-up 3 on the break, but those two things never proved to be more than just average over his career. His career high scoring came in 2001-2002, his first year after being traded to the Grizzlies for Mike Bibby, where he averaged just 14 points a game. He averaged a career high 8.3 assists the following year. The team missed the playoffs both seasons. His play style caused Williams to be benched during crucial points of games. For example, in the 2000 NBA playoffs, where he sat out most of the fourth quarters in all 5 games against the Lakers. Williams managed to turn down the flashy in his game and was able to win a championship with the Miami Heat in '06, where he was the 3rd leading scorer on that team. He would later retire in '08, return in '09 with Orlando, but with his newfound fundamentally sound game, he wasn't making the noise he once was. Also the recurring knee injuries which kept him in and out of the lineup. His stats declined even more than they were, and Williams became at best a role player until retiring in 2011. He joined the Big 3 League in 2017 and in his first game injured his knee and had to miss 8 months of basketball. Williams became more of a family man after his second retirement and deferred his energy to that and his charitable foundation for kids with craniofacial deformities. All in all, Williams was my favorite point guard ever on the other end of the melanin spectrum. He had an exciting beginning to his career, and I admire how he's always stayed true to himself and worked hard to make his dreams come true. He had a solid career, and his name will forever be remembered for the one-of-a-kind things he's done in basketball. Salute to him. I wish him all the best. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.